It's all about you.
Yeah.
You're not ever. That would require empathy.
Yeah.
To think, oh, geez, I've just insulted Chris Matthews. That I don't feel good about that. Yeah. That's not going to be processed through.
What do you think about his counting the applause lines, applause minutes that passed him about a very poignant moment about the widow who looked like a wonderful person, very in love with her husband. She lost, and then he says, "Well, he'll be happy up there in heaven." And how many minutes of applause he got? Was that something?
Ryan Owens?
Strange.
Ryan Owens. His death came as a result of a dinner Trump had with his son-in-law and
we
a
saw
political hack.
He made a decision in a dinner
over dinner with Bannon and Jared, and
then denied having a role in it.
And then the reporting here on NBC News and other networks and papers of how the intelligence community said we got nothing out of this.
Well, that's what happens. I'm not going to hold him against that. It's just you can't.
But then lie tonight.
Yeah, I know.
To say, oh, we got all this treasure trove and using the widow.
But he wants that to be the argument.
Yeah.
Whether it was a valuable mission or not.
Yeah. Of course, and that's why she's there.
Yeah,
as a sort of a FU to the people who are criticizing him for this. And this poor woman, this widow who has lost her husband, she is in desperate grief right now.
She's in love with her husband still.
And in love with her husband.
And what did you think of that?
And to use that as just put another notch on his belt. And what's he thinking about? My ratings.
And how many?
Record applause. Record grief.
What is it?
I'm going to get an Emmy for this. Most applause for a dead soldier on my watch. I mean, this is the sickness of this man, and I think anybody watching this at home, other than maybe his core base,
with him. Everything is
it's all product. It's all about. Look at the ratings. Look at the applause I got.
Oh my God.
Look at I just looked this up.
By the way, you really care about the people who lose in the Rust Belt because you've been doing it, as you said, 25 years of caring about people you grew up with who lost their livelihoods, their culture, their pride about being a breadwinner for a family when a guy could go out and provide for a whole family because he had a good factory job. And I'm not sure this guy, he's able to tune into it somehow. By the way, how does Trump do that? How does he tune into regular people who believe in him if he doesn't care? How does he do that?
He is a member of the Screen Actors Guild. He has a SAG card. He had a show on this network.
Yeah,
all right. He is very good as a performance artist.
Yeah.
He invented a catchphrase that everyone loved, and everyone loved that show. And everyone loved the show. Yeah. He was a beloved TV star. You got to understand, out in Michigan, out in that Rust Belt, we didn't know who Trump was. I mean, we'd seen him, or you'd hear the name the way you'd hear other names from New York, but you didn't know who he was. He became a star because of The Apprentice. And people loved the show, and they watched the show, and he was a beloved TV star. And he knew how to milk it. He knew what he was doing. He always knows what he's doing.
You said he'd win. When did you first get the glint in your eye that he was going to win this electoral college victory?
Well, I live in Michigan, and I just have to drive down the road. I mean, there were all these Trump signs. People I knew that had twice voted for Obama said they were going to vote for Trump. It was stunning. And I had just come back from England during Brexit. I was there with my movie was opening.
So you felt that.
So I saw it there in Middle England in the industrial part. Came home to Flint and Detroit and Lansing and Saginaw, saw the same thing there. And I thought, oh my God, this guy, he's going to win what I called the Brexit states of Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania.
You got the ones.
And yeah, but so what? I'm good.
No, you know a lot to know what's coming.
Well, yeah, or maybe I'm just good with lottery numbers too. I mean, I don't think it's that.
That's real reporting.
Well,
I know you're not a reporter.
But listen, the media, let me just say this, has gotten better. People have opened their eyes and they're listening. They didn't listen to us. We couldn't even get the Clinton campaign to listen to us. Please send a candidate here. Please come to Wisconsin. Not to come to Wisconsin for 7 months. Please do these things. I love Hillary.
Woody Allen was right.
But you got to show up. And we weren't important enough, or we were taken for granted, like, oh, we're blue states, don't worry about them. And it just, I did my best to convince them to please come, because you know what we lost by in Michigan? 3 votes per precinct. 3 votes per precinct. If 3 Trump voters had voted for Hillary, she would have won Michigan.
Yeah, I'm working on a book on Bobby Kennedy, and those people would have voted for Bobby Kennedy this year because he did have a way to connect with working people, and he was a patriot. Somehow some of the Democrats have lost that connection. Anyway,
Well, not all of them, and we're going to listen.
no, I
the
think
people are
Sherrod
in the
Brown,
streets now.
I think Bobby Casey, and a couple of these guys out there, women, I think Marcy Kaptur, they haven't lost it.
No, and don't forget the people, the actual people who are in the streets, who are at the town hall meetings, who are going to the congressional office.